Hello, everybody. Good. How are you? We're live. I don't know if that played or not, but yeah. So that was my new intro that I have for my live. So I just thought I would show it. I kind of like it. But welcome, everybody. Welcome, Brian. Welcome, Dub Wilkinson, to the show.
Hello,
everyone.
And I wanted to say hello to Cormac, Wendy, Danny, Johnny. Welcome, guys. Hope everybody's doing good. How are you, Brian?
I'm good. How about you all?
We're doing all
Good
right.
here, man.
We're very soggy where we're at.
Yep.
Hi, Red. Good to see you. Welcome. But yeah, so today we're going to kind of talk about, I'm going to do a breakdown of something that happened recently. Give you all my opinion. It's just for educational purposes. That's all it is. We're just gonna for entertainment only. Hi, Boo. How are you? Good to see you, Julie. Good to see you. Welcome, guys. We're gonna wait for a few people pop in. So before we get started, and yeah, so Chuck won't be here today because he's got some family things going on. I do have to say, hopefully, his mother's doing okay. He did text me and let me know that his mother's in the hospital, and he was asking for prayers. So I wanted to, if everybody could just send some prayers for Chuck's mother. She's doing okay, but she's got to have some surgeries and stuff. So just thought I'd ask everybody to do that. He asked me to mention it. So our prayers will be with her. But yeah, he's not going to be here. He had a bunch of family stuff to do other than dealing with his mother being in the hospital this weekend. His daughter graduated, and they've got a lot of family members over and stuff. So that's what he'll be doing.
Hi, Boo.
So yeah, we're just gonna wait for a few more people to jump in, and I hope everybody's doing well. It's been very, very thunderstormy here for the last 3 days. We were very soggy here in Texas. Texas has a lot of tornadoes, a lot of stuff going on, a lot of bad weather, I guess.
One thing, my phone has a, well, I turned it on to LTE only, but it had been on this auto 5G thing, and I've been noticing the 5G has been intermittently coming off and on during all this crazy weather too. Me and my brother have both been noticing it, so there's something to that. Whatever it is, I don't know, but yeah, like I said, the 5G is coming and going. It'll be there for a week or so, and then it'll go away, and then it'll come back, and it's just like, I flip a switch off and on when I want things to do things in my house. You know what I mean? You want the heat to come on, you turn the heater up. You want the AC to come on, you do what you do to make it work. I just wonder how 5G does what it does when the weather does what it does.
5G will not be as resilient as 2.4 will be, because it has less endurance for blockage, and bad weather is blockage to the signal.
All right.
So you can expect 5G to be more intermittent in bad weather than your 4G.
And that's what the news stations were saying back in like 2020 when we had all these lockdowns and stuff about this stuff that was going to be put out. They said that, it's going to make it more harder to predict, things because of, probably just like you're saying, when it ain't working right because of weather and storms, it'll make it even harder to predict that stuff. So it'll make it even, because the weather ain't ever right. When you look at your phone, that stuff will change throughout the day. You know what I mean?
Right, yeah.
They don't predict it right at all.
I wanted to say hello to Crystal and hello to Kim. Welcome, welcome, ladies. Good to see you. So yeah, yeah. Danny says supposedly 5G is a shorter wavelength and not good at distance.
And not good as far as your Wi-Fi, where it would you could have your Wi-Fi on the first floor of your house, and on the second floor you'd get a good signal. Well, 5G won't penetrate the walls and the floors as well as 2.4, so you may need a booster to have good Wi-Fi on your second floor, or vice versa. So it doesn't penetrate walls as well as your 2.4G.
Okay.
No, that's right. He's right. It just, yeah.
Hi, Shady. Good to see you. Welcome, welcome.
That's why they cut down a lot of trees everywhere too. If people notice this type of stuff, I do where I live because there's a lot of trees, and I notice the reasons they cut stuff down going towards the hospitals. Why? Because something 5G and that type of technology must be being used. That the trees everywhere are causing problems with its signal. I know that anyway.
Danny says we need lead paint.
Yep. I want to eat some chips tonight.
Just mix them up in your cereal. Yeah, he said it's killing trees. Okay, so wonder where Ange is today. He's usually right here.
You did get it all figured out, right?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, that was on my other channel. I hadn't been on my other channel for a very long time.
Okay, I wasn't even paying attention.
Yeah. So, hi, stupid. Good to see you. Welcome, welcome. Stupid said that's why they had to de-lead the houses. Right? So we're going to talk about, I guess we'll get started. I was hoping more people would pop on in, but so Brian's going to go over some stuff a little bit after I do this presentation. And so we're going to go over something that happened 6 days ago. It was on my thumbnail of the live. Didn't really say much, but if you don't know about it. So there was a mass shooting of 8 police officers in North Carolina and Charlotte about 6 days ago. And so, of course, you know, Dub looks into stuff like this quite frequently, and then he pulls me into it. And then there we go. So I'm going to go over and I'm going to do a breakdown of it. I do have a few videos of it so we can kind of show you different things from it. You know, viewer discretion is advised, people, even though there's nothing I think they never show anything gruesome. So, but just in case YouTube wants to be, you know, crazy like they have been, you know, but, so my first video that I'm going to go ahead and play, I'll probably do a lot of breakdown on it. And I'm going to show you, basically, as you guys know, my third channel is Fake Until Proven Real. I'm going to go ahead and do my breakdown and see if you guys are all on the same page with me. But I'm going to do like a reality type thing. Like, is this reality something that you would think would be, I don't know. But anyway, and I'll have different videos pertaining to it so we can look at them. So I wanted to start this breakdown. Let's see. Let me pull up the live phone. Breakdown. Give me 1 second, guys. All right. I think I got it under control. All right. So there was 4 officers killed and 4 injured. And I'll just give you a little summary. They were doing a federal, what was it? A
U.S. Marshals
well,
warrant.
they were issuing a federal,
Federal warrant for felon with a weapon.
okay. So, yeah. So they were serving a warrant. And just my thought process in reality, when they serve a felony, it's a felony warrant. I was
Yeah.
federal, did some right.
Yeah.
So a felony warrant to a guy that was in possession of firearms, and this was the marshal's task force team. Okay, quote. So when they went to, as soon as they walked up to the house, they were introduced to gunfire. Now, in my reality, the last I checked, when they're serving a felony warrant, they're there with armored trucks. They have the SWAT team, and they bust down your door. Okay, within seconds. They don't do it during the day at 1:30 in the afternoon. They do it early mornings usually because they want to catch the people off guard and asleep. So normally they don't do it during the day in the afternoon. That's just kind of something and it's not like they're walking up to the door and giving this guy a piece of paper. They're going to arrest him. Okay, so they're serving a felony warrant by the marshal's task force. Okay, so that I just wanted to have you guys keep in mind. Hi, Honeycutt. Hi, Mike. Hi, Watch Woman. Good to see you guys. Mary, good to see you. All right. So this is my breakdown and trying to bring people into my reality and seeing, like I'm not saying I'm 100% right, but I'm going to just, like I say, try to show you what could be fake until proven real. Here we go.
Police in Charlotte held a very emotional news conference on the shooting that claimed the lives of 4 officers.
Chief Johnny Jennings was joined by Governor Roy Cooper along with other state officials in offering support for the law enforcement community.
Michelle McConaughey is in the WRAL Live Center with new information. Michelle.
Yeah, that press conference just ended moments ago, but we now know the names of all 4 that were killed. We know the Samuel Pelosi and Alden Elliott of the Department of Corrections. They were both killed. Joshua Iyer was a Charlotte police officer, and U.S. Marshal Thomas Weeks, he is with the Fugitive Task Force. So those are the 4 officers that were killed. They were attempting to serve a search warrant on Monday to Terry Hughes for possession of a firearm by a convicted felon. When they got to a home there in Charlotte, they were met with immediate gunfire. Hughes was shot and killed in the front yard. Also, we are learning 4 other officers were hurt in this. We have their names as well. Chris Tolley, he's in the hospital recovering. Mike Giglio was released. Jack Blowers was also released. And Justin Campbell, he was not shot, but he broke his foot. He is also recovering out of the hospital. Charlotte Police Chief Johnny Jennings was so emotional at this press conference. Take a listen.
The last few days have it's just been very tough. And knowing that you have families that are hurting right now. We'll get through it though.
Here's this video. I'm going to let you know from the very beginning. So they supposedly tore down this house with an armored truck. And we're going to kind of point out that it's not the same house and so forth and so on. The 4 officers that were killed right away, 1 was from the marshal's office, 2 were from the penitentiary, and 1 was a city cop. To me, that's kind of like a little bit of mixture of the 4 that were shot that were on the task force. Usually the marshals are the top of the dogs. They don't mess with the city. They don't mess with, they're top of the line. I kind of, in my opinion, having 2 security guards from, okay, we got echo. Okay. From an adult penitentiary would kind of be weird to be serving a felony warrant with the marshal's office. That's just kind of my thought process on it. And then 1 city cop. And actually, I'm going to show you this in the next video. The 1 city cop, he was employee of the month. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. But I just kind of wanted to give you that heads up. Here we go.
And Chief Jennings went on to say that certainly this is something that will impact the country. He says this will take time and this will take support from everybody.
All of those officers are heroes. It has been a difficult and dramatic 24 hours in the East Charlotte neighborhood where those officers were shot. Hundreds of officers swarmed that neighborhood.
Some people had police snipers set up in their homes. Others had injured officers pulled to safety right through their living rooms.
So they've had snipers set up in neighbors' homes. I'm going to say that's probably false. I don't think that's reality. When they're serving a felony warrant, they don't generally use
neighbors back there.
I think they're already set up. But anyway, that's just my thought, my opinion.
Okay, so let me chime in there real quick. I seen this take place one time. A neighbor had reports of a gun and whatever, and I don't know what happened, but cops were everywhere, and they didn't come in no one's houses. But were they using the sides of your house as protection? Hell yeah, they were standing there like that, or around trees and things like that, all, you know, engaging towards the target. But they weren't knocking on our doors like, hey, can we come inside and shoot out your window?
Right.
You know, no, they weren't.
Right. So you're gonna see something. I'm just gonna show you. Anyway.
WRL's Eric Miller has been in that neighborhood all morning long. And Eric, the damage to the home Hughes was holed up in is hard to believe.
Jeff, it really is extraordinary damage and extraordinary stories from these neighbors. Neighbors tell me this damage you see right here was actually caused by a SWAT vehicle ramming the front of the building. You can see it completely pulled it to pieces. There's shattered siding, broken brick, personal belongings left scattered everywhere in this front yard. This East Charlotte neighborhood today dealing both with a broken home and broken hearts. Tuesday morning, it's still hard to believe.
It was just gunfire.
Even for people like Tyler Wilson, who had a front row seat.
So at one point, there was probably 10 or 15 police and marshals in our backyard, some in our bedrooms. I opened the doors and let them just come through the house.
Wilson shot these videos as police swarmed through his yard. Shots coming from every direction, rolling even as an injured officer was pulled through his living room.
It's one.
They take injured officers in somebody's house. They don't load them in an ambulance.
Yeah.
To the hospital.
Both the close-ups of that house, when it gets it from the right side angle, it looks like the TV that's inside there made it through everything, and it's like halfway in the house and halfway out of the house. It looks very weird. So anyway, I just want to say that.
we're gonna show you different pictures of the house. As you can see, this looks like a close neighborhood. They don't look like they have big yards. This house that's smashed does not look like it has a very big front yard. Okay. And it looks like it's surrounded by a bunch of trees. Okay. So I just kind of want to point that out.
One of those situations where you just black out. You just go into fight or flight mode.
The bullets started flying just after 1 p.m. as a U.S. Marshals task force worked to serve a warrant to this man, 39-year-old Terry Hughes Jr. The bullets didn't stop for more than 2 hours. Hundreds of rounds shredding the side of the house Hughes was holed up in, some bullets hitting too close to home for neighbors.
You can tell, like, there were shots fired. There's a bullet that penetrated right here.
Jay Chun lives just next door. He says he just got
Day Chun? What's his name?
Jay Tune.
Jay June? I don't know.
They sound like Stay Tuned.
Now the next one they on a different video, his name is. So it's the same. It almost sounds just the same exact, but it's a different guy.
Gotten home when police arrived and when his father started shooting this video with his cell phone.
There were officers right here by my vehicle. There were like at least.
So do you think that they're going to go behind people's cars and say, we're going to use your car, use your garage, we're going to go behind your vehicle, and we're sorry if there's any damage done? Then, since there was hundreds and hundreds of gunfire going off, just looks like a movie to me. That's just my opinion. Here we go.
Started shooting this video with his cell phone.
There were officers right here by my vehicle. There were like at least 2 officers by my back door.
By the time the shooting was over, 4 officers suffered fatal wounds, including CMPD's Joshua Iyer, Sam Pelocci, and Alden Elliott, and a deputy U.S. Marshal. Hughes was also killed.
So there was only one U.S. Marshal in this whole beginning. This was a Marshal task force, and there was only one U.S. Marshal that was involved in the shooting, supposedly. So here we go.
Nearly 24 hours later, this East Charlotte neighborhood is left to pick up the pieces and pay their respects.
Really, the families that are impacted, the loved ones are not coming home. I can't imagine what they're going through or what they're feeling.
Yeah, it really is unimaginable. The other thing that we've heard out here from neighbors today is people who were honestly grateful, thankful, despite this damage, that there were officers willing to put themselves in harm's way here. Again, so much happening as this story develops. We'll stay on top of it. I'll send it back to you in the studio.
Pretty chaotic.
So that was video number 1. Yeah, they have to smile. Hi, Kip. Good to see you. Welcome, welcome. Thank you for the intro that you did for me. I appreciate it, brother. And I really appreciate that. But yeah, welcome, welcome. Let's see. Kansas Gail, good to see you. Dale, good to see you. Make sure I didn't miss any. On the level. Yeah, good to see you guys. Welcome, welcome. All right. So, and Cindy, I think I said Cindy. I'm not sure. If I do miss you guys, I do apologize. All right. So, that's just kind of the initial one that I looked at. We're going to show you another one. I love how the 2 trash cans are perfectly laid down next to each other. Yes. And we're going to see other videos where you can see that. I'm just going to call it out like I see it. But we'll go over, you guys, to me, when you have to correct 2 correctional officers, one city cop and one U.S. Marshal that all got killed. They were the 4 initial guys to do this warrant, and they were killed right away, supposedly. And so they say. And I just find that kind of hard to believe that. But anyway, that's just my thought process on it. This is where they're going to tell you that they're just one city cop. And then, of course, they had a billion city cops, and then they had a billion SWAT teams, and they had a billion marshal people. And then they had, of course, they had a billion of them there afterwards. If they're going to serve a warrant, they have all this ready to rock and roll. They don't mess around. They don't give you time to run out in the yard and start shooting. I'm just telling you that they use a SWAT team to go in. They don't use regular officers. But anyway, just saying.
He was out.
If you were having a marshal's task force, you would expect every member in there to be a U.S. Marshal and a team that is accustomed to working together, much in the way of a SWAT team. But here we just pieced together a troop and started out.
Okay.
In the aftermath of bullets flying and officers running into the line of fire, there's a cavernous hole in Charlotte tonight. With the death toll now up to 4, Deputy U.S. Marshal Thomas Weeks, Department of Correction veterans Sam Pelocci and Alden Elliott, and Officer of the Month Joshua Iyer.
He was out getting illegal guns off the street, and it's going to be sorely missed.
This tragedy, now the deadliest for police from gunfire in almost a decade.
It's just been very tough. And knowing that you have families that are hurting right now.
So, and I'm just saying that if we were all about thinking we were being protected, thinking that we could rely on our say this I'm trying to be very soft about this one. If we could rely on these types of people, I don't know if something tragic happens, if the police chief breaks down that easily. I don't know how tough he is. Maybe he's drank too much of the soy water. I don't know. I'm just saying.
Law enforcement says this man, Terry Hughes Jr., with a lengthy criminal record, gunned down the officers as they approached serving a warrant before he was shot in the yard of this house. Investigators recovered an AR-15, a handgun, and more than 100 shell casings after a furious confrontation.
How does a convicted felon acquire a high-powered assault rifle?
I think you can ask anybody on the streets. You can have these laws on the books, but if someone wants to possess a firearm, they can certainly get one.
Now, after a spate of recent attacks on officers, another reminder of what these public servants stand for.
Would you do this again? No.
So I want to go back here real quick. So they have to get their photo ops in, okay? This is after the media's here. The media's taking all these pictures. Now they're acting like they're motivated. Look at this. They're just
the reminder of what these public servants stand for.
The guys are carrying the door jammer thingy. Like they have to show these pictures to make it look like, to make it look real. But anyway.
Would you do this again, knowing your fate yesterday? Would you do it again? There would be a boisterous yes.
Sam Brock, NBC News, Charlotte.
Anyway. So Mike says we have to be able to protect ourselves. By the time the popo makes it to your home, it will be too late. Yeah, seriously. That's 100%. That's like with anywhere. Yeah.
When seconds count, the police are only a few minutes away.
Right. And the story is that they killed this guy in the front yard. After gunfire was exchanged, the officers were down. They killed the guy. Then they were met with more gunfire. That has yet to be determined. They did find there's different stories. If you guys ever want to look this up, there's a million videos on this. So they have exploited it. Once they exploit something so huge, you already know what I think. It's
many conflicting stories about the details. It's just crazy.
So we're just gonna show you a little bit of what we got and see if it's telling to you guys. We're gonna show you some pictures too. So here we go.
Tonight, quite literally picking up the pieces from everything that happened in their neighborhood yesterday afternoon. And that was the scene out of the shootout between the suspect, Terry Hughes, and U.S. Marshals and police. Well, tonight we have a closer look at the scene and more on Hughes's background. Queen City News anchor Derek Dillon.
I really like this news station because it's called Queen City News, and it has a crown. So I thought that was very interesting. Queen City News. Here we go.
They're live tonight in East Charlotte along Galway Drive. Now, Derek, we see the home right there behind you, an incredible sight, but it's also brought a lot of people out there.
Yes, it has. And I'm just going to get out of the way so you can actually see this for yourselves. I mean,
there's a big tree right here, right in front of the house, where it has all, where all the damage to the front yard. These bushes were not disturbed by the armored truck, I guess. I guess the armored truck came to the side, and I don't know. I don't know why they had to do that. They had 500 billion trillion cops, light years of trillion cops there. I don't know why they would have need to smash the house in to get in. Normally they don't do that kind of stuff. Why didn't you just go in? But that's how they show everything.
There's really not much left of the front end of this home. And this site has really brought a lot of passersby, people wanting to see all that happened here for themselves, even some national media here today. But for one man, everything that happened here is quite literally very close to home.
Weirdly, if you rewind it a little bit,
The tragedy that
the side of the house where they didn't enter has stuff all blasted out the window or thrown out the window. If you just go back and look at it, watch as they pan their way that way. See what I'm saying? That
right
window
here?
there is all shattered or whatever, and stuff's thrown out it. And but anyway,
Yeah, this doesn't look like any type of does things just fall out of the house like that? It looks like they have a clothesline right here. I don't know. Yeah, it looks funky to me. But like I said, I'm going to show you different views of the house. Dub did go look on Google Earth to pull up the address and everything, and show you images from there.
It's really brought a lot of passersby, people wanting to see all that happened here for themselves, even some national media here today. But for one man, everything that happened here was quite literally very, very close to home. Between all the tragedy that happened Monday, there is a lot that seems to be left behind. As police and other law enforcement cleared the scene, people got a look for themselves at the damage.
And you see nothing roped off. So there's no crime scene tape, nothing around this house.
I've been following the story, and I said, let me come over here, take a look, and this whole thing is shocking. Never seen nothing like this. Never.
Even for next door neighbor St. June, he was home.
St. June, just like the other guy, like stay tuned. The other one was what?
St. June, it's the same guy.
No, it's not the same guy. This is a totally different guy. The other one is younger. It's not the same guy.
Okay.
An unwitting spectator to the gunfight that led to all this damage.
I was starting my truck and ready to go work. And that's what, like 1:40 in the afternoon.
Everything happening just feet away, some of it right in his yard.
Here's 5 U.S. Marshal. They pull over, block me, and I got no choice. And they run out and with the gun and go, 6 of them go backyard, and 2 and other 2 other side, 2 on the front.
From there, a shootout as Chun ran for safety. Authorities say Terry Hughes Jr. was the one firing the gun, shooting 8 law enforcement officers, killing 4 of them. Officers fired back, killing Hughes. Hughes' arrest history goes back to when he was 18. Records show he was a felon, having served time in prison for felony breaking and entering, and later again for possessing a weapon while a felon. He had a 2021 charge in Charlotte for a number of charges related to marijuana, along with fleeing and eluding authorities. The warrant they were serving Monday was for 2 charges. One was an eluding charge out of Lincoln County, along with a weapons possession charge. People here say that should have prompted a different type of response.
Yeah, they knew that guy. He got the gun, all that. That's why they call him to come out.
But while the investigation takes place into what happened, people...
Look, now they got it. Nothing's roped off. They got all these people. people coming all the way up to the house, taking pictures, checking it out.
Are still coming by, wanting this type of response.
Yeah, they knew that guy. He got the gun, all that. That's why they call him to come out.
But while the investigation takes.
See, you think they're going to let that happen? Not even roped off. No tape, no nothing.
Place into what happened, people are still coming by, wanting to see what happened right in their backyard.
I just can't imagine leaving home, going to work, not knowing if you're going to return.
Now, one thing that we've seen out here is really the sheer shock from people that have arrived here to take a look at this scene right behind me. And we've had a chance to talk to quite a few people today. Many people say that they are shocked that what happened yesterday happened here. Live in East Charlotte, Derek Delatrick.
So, yeah, there was some witnesses that you'll see. There was actually a ton of videos on this, a ton. I was quickly trying to put these together real quick. Again, I did my homework a little bit late, trying to get the slide going, so that's my bad. But yeah, it's kind of crazy. But yeah, if you guys ever want to go look at the house, you can just take your phones and do a selfie with it. You know, kind of look inside, take pictures if you'd like. I mean, it's not roped off, so it's all good to go. Something wrong. Crystal says something wrong.
Correct.
That's good. Oh, yeah. Yeah, but as you know, we can trust the news, you guys. And, you know, those law enforcement people, you know, if you're going to be with the marshal's office, they're going to have their crap together. They really will.
Yes.
They're going to have all their ducks in a row. They're not just going to get out of their cars and all four of them start walking towards the house with a paper in their hand and serve them this warrant. They're not going to be doing that. They're going to have a SWAT team with them. So, you know, for people not to look at this and look at reality is kind of beyond me. But and to have two correctional officers be on the task force team is kind of weird. That's just me, and one city cop. But he was employee of the month, so you know he must have been up there. But way too long. But anyway, just saying. Let's see. Back down here. These are pretty short videos, so and this shows the chaotic scene. So this is filmed from somebody, but anyway, I'm trying to look for the house in this scene. It's kind of it's really kind of hard to find, but we can keep looking.
I'll stop right there. Oh, they busted. Do we take cover?
Now, do you really think? Okay, look at this guy here. No, nobody has their guns out. Nobody. They're like bending down, like, okay, let's hide behind this car. They're not even really hiding. I mean, in my eyes, I just don't know how to explain it. This is just dumb. But this guy tells the narrative. Of course, he's going to tell you, oh my God, they're shooting, blah, blah, blah. He's one of the narrative tellers that's filming it. So here we go.
Do we take cover?
So you have this big truck that's hiding the scene. It is in the way. It's a big white truck. Millwork, Charlotte. Try to see if I can. But it is blocking the scene, which is not surprising to me. So you got some officers walking over here. I'm going frame by frame so you guys could see the truck a little bit. And then they have an ambulance that's right behind it that doesn't even look like a real ambulance, if you ask me. But they're walking one officer over there, I guess.
Well, they still shooting, boy. Pray for that man. He out here doing God's work. It's crazy because I want to walk all the way over there. Look at this shit.
Now here they all come running. Nobody's got their weapons drawn. Let's go backwards. Or is that forward? Let's go backwards. So none of these officers have their weapons drawn. They're all just running together. It's very, very unorganized. Let's back up here. And then I'm trying to figure out what house. Is this the house here? Is this all the officers that are at this house? Standing here. I don't know. Just saying.
He get in the car. Well, he get in the car, they gonna bust that auto.
I don't think he can get out of the house though. I think that what it is. I think he barricaded in the house. Yeah.
And they're all standing around. So, this is supposed to be active at this moment. You've got 500 trillion thousand cops. Cops are coming in, cops are leaving, cops are walking officer to the ambulance. Supposedly cops have got inside people's homes to do the sniper shooting, and got behind other people's cars to do it in their garage area. They, I don't know. Just saying. There we go.
I don't know.
What you guys think about that one?
Loved it.
I loved it. Wasn't it real? I'm just kidding. Okay, so this photo right here. Oh, you guys can't see it because I haven't shared it yet. Sorry. Get to that. Okay. Now, as you can see, this is the armored truck trying to take down, I guess, or hit the house. Now, just my opinion, I guess it would be the house to the left, which I can tell you right now is not the same house. This is a high 2-story house. I don't think the other one looked like it was, I don't know. I could be wrong, but where's he going? Because is he going to the back of the house to do this? I don't know. But all the other photos show that it was either the side of the house or the front of the house that had the damage. They did kill the suspect inside of the front yard, but where is the suspect?
And the house had black shutters.
I was home cleaning with my doors open like I always do. And I heard the shots and I said, okay, there's 3 shots. The second set of shots, I'm like, maybe somebody got a new gun, they're practicing. The third set of shots, I'm like, nah, something's going on. And then maybe not even a minute or two after I heard these shots, I stepped outside my door, police were running by, and then ambulance started coming in. And
well, someone put those trash cans right back on the lawn very nicely in order after they just ran them over. So, just saying. Now look at all these guys just standing around.
They look real busy.
They are. It's active.
Yeah,
okay.
We're just going everywhere. It was like pow, 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 pow. And then by the time I could turn in, pow, 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 pow. And then again, once I got here, it was again.
pow, 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 pow.
And they're just going to let you in, right? They're going to let you in when there's pow, pow, pow. When there's pow, 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 pow. They're just going to let you in the neighborhood. And as you got closer, you kept hearing the pow, pow, pow. And there you go. And then when she finally got here, she heard more pow, 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 pow. There was 5,000 million trillion officers that would have had this whole thing shut down. But not her. She got in.
So initially there were about 3 shots, 30 seconds. Then there were 7 shots, 30 more seconds, and then there were like 10 shots. So when we came outside, there were no cops at all. Then cops started rushing.
There's your photo op right here.
Yep.
There's the photo op.
Rushing in.
Actually,
I mean, who lines up behind each other? Think about that. I gotta go back. Look at that. Who does that? I mean, all right. If the first guy gets shot, and the bullet goes right through, it's gonna go hit everybody right directly behind him. I don't know. That kind of looks weird to me.
All training would say don't do this. All training.
I mean, the lead guy's the one popping the corner. Everybody should be to the left of him. You know what I mean? So
I don't know. This just kind of looks weird.
And cops started rushing in.
This one's about ready to fall asleep. If you see this guy over here, let's back that up. Just watch his actions. He's like, oh my gosh, let's get this over with. We've been standing here for 10 hours. Watch this guy.
Started rushing in.
It was like, oh.
Actually, I was going home, and so, like I said, the police and everything just. And like they're doing now, so I was like, Lord, I'm gonna make sure, it's nobody I know, you know what I'm saying? And just like my spirit, I couldn't go home. I had to come and see what was going on. And once I got here, it was just crazy.
So they got the SWAT team here now. Okay. They're here now for the photo op.
Yeah.
But where were they when all these 4 officers got shot? Because when they're going to serve this warrant, it's not going to be people walking up with a piece of paper. It's going to be the SWAT team. I've seen it a million times. I lived in Albuquerque, New Mexico, where it was very common that they raided houses and they served felony warrants, and it was never like this, ever. But. Okay. Let's do. Now we're gonna show you some. Okay, so again, this shows an officer. I don't know who he's talking to here. Officer standing by the house, and this armored truck on the side of the house, which I can tell you that's not the same house. I don't know why he's backing in. There is videos that do show them trying to go through. They're trying to go through the trees. I don't know how efficient that is, but that's what they're trying to show.
So basically, we were coming from a job, and we had a couple of gunshots, maybe about 20, 30. That's from the beginning.
I got to get out of here.
And as we got closer, we started.
Crazy, I'll stop right there.
So one of the community continues to rally behind law enforcement.
Stop it.
And Charlotte,
There we go. I'm trying to stop it.
Crazy,
All right. So this is the side of the house. Again, not the same house. As you can see, it's got a black top. The other one was white. It did have like a white top. This is not the same house.
The little window on top is supposedly, the early videos were saying this was where they were seeing gunfire for 2 hours from that window.
Hey, Michelle, when you get a chance, the guy that was just interviewed, play the video I just shared there. Yeah, but anyway. someone
Okay.
else that I've seen y'all subscribe to and comment on this channel.
Okay.
Yep.
I'll go in there after I get. We're gonna show you the houses. This is not a good one, but so this is from Google Earth. When they do a psyop, they do block out the address or the house. They've done that millions of times when we try to look it up on Google Earth. That the house will be blocked off like this. So this is from Google 2024. So this is supposedly the house at the address. Definitely not the same house. It doesn't have the same structure. Nothing. Nothing that looks like. This is the one from. Now this is all surrounded by trees. This looks like a farmhouse. This doesn't even look like in a close neighborhood to me. But just saying. Let's see. There's the armored truck with trees on it. And there's the house. So, yeah. On my thumbnail also of this live shows that it's not the same house.
And those were the windows that was said to be shooting from.
You know, they didn't disturb this brick here or the stairs here or this bush here, but they disturbed this window and everything else inside falling out. I mean, God, did they have everything they owned inside this house against the wall?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just saying. So, but if anybody's interested, they can look at any of this. Like I said, there's.
We heard about over 100 gunshots. But yeah, it sounded like World War III. It's a lot of emotions going on. You know, you could tell a lot of people scared. A lot of people, it's like I live in this neighborhood for 10 years. Never saw this. Never thought it could even happen. But it's happening today on this Monday.
That was the same guy that the news is fake.
Yeah.
Did on, because the guy said that he had just moved there a year ago, and then he said in the same video in the same exact conversation said that he had just moved there a year ago but lived there for 10.
That's the video I shared. It was the Real Ice Pick or whatever his channel is, and yeah, that was same thing. Just catching him in that little thing where he said his dad lived there 10 years, he lived there 1 year, but then he goes on to say that he lives there 10 years.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, the news is fake is the first one, and I think Ice Pick is the one that copied it from the news is fake and mirrored it. But so you guys can look any of this up. Like I said, there's a billion videos. I didn't do my homework is good enough. I was looking over videos really quickly, and I just wanted to kind of show you my reality of it and what I saw that would not be normal. We don't live in the movies. Well, we do, because the world is a stage and everything is a movie. And using the SWAT team in Albuquerque when I lived there for 38 years. Using the SWAT team to serve warrants and to raid houses was very, very common, and they were in and out. They don't mess around, and they don't do it at 1:30 in the afternoon. They just don't.
Right.
They don't do it in the afternoon. They try to catch whoever they're trying to serve to arrest off guard, and they just don't do it. Let's see. Let's see if I can go back in here real quick. Give me 1 second. Might echo. So yeah, this is from the Real Ice Pick channel. Just so you guys can see, he's got 48 subscribers. You should maybe subscribe to him. He did mirror this off The News is Fake 4. But this one's a good one. This is from the same thing.
We were coming from a job, and we heard a couple of gunshots, maybe about 20, 30. That's from the beginning. And as we got closer, we started hearing a lot more gunfire, maybe over 100. That's actually my father-in-law, and we work together. So actually, I come here every morning I could jump in his truck and go to the job sites. So we actually was coming from a job site when we heard all the gunfire and everything. He's been here for 10 years, and he would have never thought that this would ever happen around here. And this area to me is beautiful. I would never even think. I only been out here for 1 year. I came from New York. So for me seeing this neighborhood, I thought it was just a nice peaceful area, neighborhood. Would have never thought that this would ever go down. You know, it's like I live in this neighborhood for 10 years, never saw this, never thought it can even happen. I only been out here for 1 year. I came from New York. So for me seeing this neighborhood, I thought it was just a nice peaceful area, neighborhood. Would have never thought that this would ever go down. I live in this neighborhood for 10 years. I only been out here for 1 year. I live in this neighborhood for 10 years. I only been out here for 1 year. I live in this neighborhood for 10 years. I only been out here for 1 year. I live in this neighborhood for 10 years. I only been out here for 1 year. I live in this neighborhood for 10 years. I only been out here for 1 year.
Yeah, that was pretty funny.
Yeah. I love it. Yeah. So yeah, that's kind of where we're at with that. Like I said, they said 50 billion. They had I always say when they have a press conference, that's a very big sign of it being staged.
Very big.
Once it's just a production. After that, it's priceless actors. Yep, exactly. Hi, who's there? Good to see you. Yeah. Analog, good to see you. Welcome, welcome. Who else popped in? But yeah, so
his hat said like Best Buy Metals.
Best Buy Metals.
Yep.
Yeah. So yeah. Let's see. Like I said, if you guys are interested, yeah, go look into that Charlotte shooting, police officer shooting. You'll find a whole bunch on it. They had motorcades for all the officers.
Yeah.
I don't know. Go ahead and say. Dub's going to tell you a little bit about the background of it because he watched a whole bunch, and just so you guys can get a better idea. Go ahead, Dub.
Okay. The one officer that was killed, it was the police officer. They had a 2.5 hour video of a memorial for him, which is ridiculous. Cops are killed every day somewhere in the country, and I've never seen there a 2-hour video for a memorial for them. Anytime you see an event, and there are many of them, as you're watching it, just stop it and say, is this the way it would happen or occur in real life? And if you can't find an answer in some of those questions that says yes, then you can figure it's just another one of the psyops.
I do want to say that there was an officer killed in Albuquerque, and they did have a motorcade for him and had a big going through the whole city of Albuquerque when he died or whatever. But it was long after he died. It wasn't like the next day.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Yeah. And they keep saying there were 8 officers shot. There was 3 original officers that was supposed to be the marshal's task force, which was 1 marshal and 2 guys, prison guards. They were all shot and killed immediately. And some of the versions say the guy was killed in his front yard. Others say he was killed in the house. And 2 of the officers, the police officer and 3 others were the second forces to arrive. The 1 police officer was killed. One of the others broke his foot. He wasn't shot. They keep saying 8 were shot. And the other 2 that were shot were treated in the hospital that day and released. The guy that broke his foot was treated and released the next morning. None of which would happen in that manner. Just, if you're gunshot, you're not treated and released that day. And be able to call it a real gunshot wound. It just doesn't happen. There's so many inconsistencies and contradictions from one story to the other story. All incidences have them, but this one has probably the most I've seen of where there's 1,000 different stories to one story.
They had a report of there was 2 people that were shooting afterwards that were still in the house after they shot and killed the suspect in the front yard. And they were taken in for questioning. One was a 17-year-old boy and a woman. They were all taken in for questioning, but they said gunfire happened after they killed the suspect.
Right.
But they were just taken in for questioning. So they still haven't come back with that. And then there was another report that said there was 2 women in the house and after the fact, and they were taken in. So there was different conflicting reports, obviously, that didn't match up. Like I said, there's a billion videos on this incident that, I didn't grab the best ones, but I tried to do my best.
There's so many contradictions of what was the details over and over. After the 3 cops and the bad guy are laying dead in the front yard, there was a 2-hour gun battle after them. And then on the second press conference from the police officer, from the commissioner, he says that he acknowledges a 2-hour gunfight after everybody's dead, but then there's no charges for anybody else. There's no one else expected, which, is to me a very huge contradiction to fact or fiction. And that's where I draw my thinking from, by observing many, many, many stories of the same event.
We're gonna play. Let me go back in here. Sorry. I saw one from Kip. Okay. Let me grab that. He says this is a Fox and CNN from last year report. Let's see. Go in here real quick.
Is this?
Whoa. All right. See if I got it on there. There we go.
It's the same guy getting dressed, unguarded, that they had just arrested.
I remember this.
Yep.
We just heard a gunshot, and they're yelling at people to get out of the area. You can see the soldiers, get down, lay down flat. Lay down totally flat. You can see things are very tense here. There were 2 gunshots, and now they have someone on the ground.
Go back right now.
Very tense right now as these soldiers appear to be arresting a Palestinian man. They have him in handcuffs right now, and you can see they've blindfolded him.
And why is this guy in his underwear? Really? Really?
And they are taking him away. You can see here, they're leading him away. They've blindfolded this man, and it appears they have captured yet another militant who entered from the Gaza Strip. It gives you a sense of just how unpredictable all of this is. They don't know where people are hiding, and they could still be in the tree lines here near to the Gaza.
Then that big thing in the background with all the black,
someone on the ground
blowing around like they're trying to, separate the area, coordinate something, whatever,
Yeah.
Stage.
And this is from Just Kip channel. If hey Kip, drop your channel link. If you guys have not subbed to him, please do.
Very tense right now as these soldiers appear to be arresting a Palestinian man. They have him in handcuffs right now, and you can see they've blindfolded him. And they are taking him away. You can see here, they're leading him away. They've blindfolded this man, and it appears they have captured yet another militant who entered from the Gaza Strip. It gives you a sense of just how unpredictable all of this is. They don't know where people are hiding, and they could still be in the tree lines here near to the Gaza border.
This was a paraglider stuff, right?
That was 8 October. 8 August. No.
No, not the 8th of August. That was Maui.
Okay.
This is in Gaza.
Yeah. Okay.
This is the 7th of October.
7 October, yeah.
Here near to the Gaza border.
Yep, so that was Fox right there. There you go. And then here's CNN with another one. This is around George Floyd, but watch how they do it.
We're just in the last 10 minutes. Demonstrators have started to come up and down this thoroughfare of Marietta and break out windows of CNN Center. It was just a short time ago that they started shooting what appeared to be BBs at us. I was struck with a BB pellet. It's unreal to witness here, Chris. This police line, we just saw an officer extracted. An officer was down. We don't know exactly how they were injured. Another officer here that was standing on these steps took some glass in the arm. There's are now launching something that appears to be some sort of smoke grenade that they're throwing inside CNN Center right now. They're kicking it back out, guys. This is live happening in front of your eyes. They've been warned. These officers have already fired or deployed tear gas into the crowd. We saw another with a long gun fire what appeared to be a rubber bullet at another demonstrator.
So right here, while all these protesters are hurling rocks and objects at this shield wall, they relax. This cop casually walks in from the outside with her back to those protesters, and then watch the shield wall as soon as they get this guy arrested. This is so fake. It's obvious.
Throwing a large object. You see these demonstrators are walking inside CNN Center at this point. It seems as though this man might be detained. He's being detained. Let's see if we can talk to him.
This cop strolls downstairs to meet the chick strolling in from the outside to arrest this guy, who turns around to just wait. And you got to ask yourself, why didn't the shield wall go up while this cop was strolling, walking 10 steps with her back to these protesters?
Have already fired or deployed tear gas into the crowd. We saw another with a long gun fire what appeared to be a rubber bullet at another demonstrator who had thrown a large object. You see these demonstrators are walking inside CNN Center at this point. It seems as though this man might be detained. He's being detained.
No, he wasn't waiting to be arrested. No, he wasn't waiting.
Let's see if we can talk to him. Be detained. He's being detained. Let's see if we can talk to him. Another rock just thrown there at police. We're right behind the police line. These are very large objects. Police being hit. This demonstrator, let's see if we could ask him why he was here, guys. Hey, why did you show up here today? Why are you here? Why did you come here? What made you show up?
Have you ever in your life seen a police officer allow a journalist to come up and interview the person they had detained? No, this is ridiculous.
Doesn't work.
They need to be trained. Here in our country, it's not black, white. Officers need to be trained better.
Frustration and their anger, not just on
This cop's just strolling outside with no fear.
The police, but it seems on our CNN Center as well. Frustration and their anger, not just on the police, but it seems on our CNN Center as well.
Nick, are the cops that are inside the CNN Center? Nick, are the cops that are inside?
It's not just Fox. It's CNN. It's MSNBC. It's all of them.
Oh,
they're all
yeah.
faking the news. They all have an agenda, and they're all trying to keep you in fear and divided. Please wake up. Don't buy this crap.
Yes. Very good.
I made this for you.
That's a good one. Definitely a good one.
In all events, anytime the media is giving you these stories, the announcers, the people that are reading off the story and telling you the story, they know they're lying to you. They're not confused. They're not thinking they're telling you the truth. They know they're lying to you.
Well, they're all actors, okay?
And they all do it with smiles on their faces.
The world is a stage, okay?
Yep.
They're all actors. Anybody famous, all your news is controlled. Everything is controlled. Everything.
Absolutely.
I'm going to, Brian, I know that you have some stuff that you want to show. So we're about ready to get to it. I'm dropping the link, the StreamYard link. Anybody want to pop on in? You're more than welcome. Yeah, come on the panel. Hi, Awake. Good to see you. Welcome, welcome. You're awake.
Another event that I think needs a lot more attention is George Floyd. I think there's a lot to be known about that event.
Look, I just want to let you know, if you guys don't understand about what happened with George Floyd, just my thought process. It's not real, YouTube. So we call them psyops. We met George Floyd's cousin the other day at work.
As a matter of fact, we did.
He was a little psycho and yelling and screaming and saying that he was George Floyd's cousin, and he saw his cousin get killed on TV. Anyway, and I was like, really? And he was like, oh yeah. But that's another story. But yeah, they're all actors. Every darn one of them, every news channel is reading a script. I don't care who they are.
Absolutely.
They're all reading a script. What was I gonna do? Oh, I dropped the link. So if anybody wants to come on, you're more than welcome. I'd love to have you guys on the panel if you guys want to hop on in. So Brian, did you want to go ahead and you said you had some stuff to share. So I'm ready.
Yeah, hold on a second. Yeah, let me push the share button. It's pretty wild because what I have to share feeds off of that shooting. So that's what's weird about it. So this is just how your news is put together for you, I guess we can call it. But let me see here.
My next door neighbor was the cousin of Fats Domino.
All right. So here's the first thing is UNC student who defended American flag from campus mob honored to give back to the nation. I don't know what he's gonna, Oh yeah, no, he's honored to give back in the sense that he stood up for the flag. And you should hear this video of this kid. But anyway, if you want to play it, we can. If not, because of whose it is, we won't. But just know that the UNC fraternity members are deciding how to spend more than $400,000 in donations made to their chapter through a GoFundMe. And do you want to know what this kid's name is before we even listen to him talk real quick? Chapel Hill student Alex Jones said in a Wednesday post on X, yep, this is Alex Jones about to give us, why he's honored to go and stand up for the flag during anti-Israel protests on, campus.
Interesting.
Sorry. We had to watch the game.
Yep. Oh, we have no audio.
You don't hear nothing?
Nope, no audio.
Well, that sucks.
Okay, so when you go to share the screen, you have to click in the middle. Like if you go share your whole computer, you have to click.
Sharing.
Okay, so you have to click right in the middle of. So when you click, let me see. Let me look at it. So when you click on what you're gonna, if you do entire screen, you have to click entire screen and click in the middle, and then share. Make sure you're sharing your audio.
Okay, what it's telling me to do is I have to share tab instead. So I'll go to that tab first, and then we'll go to each tab individually. This is how it's working for me. So whatever, Yeah. Are we there?
There you go.
Yep.
We're there? All right.
I love that side of America. It's like we all just kind of connected our brains and stood there protecting one thing, and we all were like we all were looking at every direction If stuff was flying in, we would say heads up. We would cover each other. We would look out for other people. We would swap. We had like for an hour, and our hands did hurt. Our arms did hurt. It was like an arm day for me that day. It was no gym happened that day afterwards. It was exhausting. You know, I remember we were all standing in there, and I think I made a joke. I was like, oh, I don't know if it's a joke, but I was like, I'd die for this flag. And everybody was like, yeah, if they get any closer, we're gonna start throwing hands. Like we're not going anywhere. I don't care. They're gonna have to tear me off this flag like by my dead body, you know, stuff like that. And that was, you know, I'm smiling right now after such an insane day, but it's because it genuinely was hopeful. It was enjoyable to be in such an environment while doing what we think is right. People really took a lot of damage to protect that flag. Again, we were there.
He doesn't look very damaged to me. I had to stop and say that because he says he took a lot of damage protecting that flag. I don't know what he meant by that, but he looks unscathed.
For a really long time, you know, all things considered. But it makes me feel very scared for the future of this country. It's good to see people still willing to put their bodies on the line, their mind and soul on the line to protect this flag. There are still patriots in this country that actually want to fight and would, you know, sacrifice themselves for this flag.
I don't want to fight and sacrifice myself for that flag, but look how they're going with this. So this is where we just went from the mass shooting or whatever it was, the shooting and the red flag, whatever we just watched there, into this stuff. And then next we're going to go into Trump, and it's all the same stuff.
This country. And it's been missing a lot of the time, especially during this last administration, has just been non-existent pretty much.
Yep.
That's why the photo is getting so many clicks and getting seen everywhere on every news site, because people want to see that. People want to see people not bending. Don't bend a knee to these people.
He's happy. He's a happy camper.
Want to take over. They want to just destroy like what this country stands for. Bring their own twisted ideology into every orifice of this country, and you don't let them do that.
This country's already destroyed.
Be a man. Take a stand.
Be a man. Take a stand. And there it was. All right. So as I said, that was Alex Jones. Y'all didn't remember. Both myself, my fraternity brother, and others protected the flag. All right. And then there was hundreds of students, hundreds of protesters that were coming to, you know, take the flag. And here's where it ties into your story, Michelle. Anti-Israel agitators on Tuesday morning initially replaced the American flag, which had been flying at half-mast after the 4 Charlotte officers were killed in the line of duty Monday, with the Palestinian flag. You know, but anyway, the law enforcement officers had to step in to return the American flag. And then that's when these boys came into play. So here they are protecting the flag, not allowing the agitators to get in there and get them. Remember that word agitators, it's in both articles that I'm going to show as well. What I wanted to show in here is that, you know, Jones, Alex, as we know him by, there you go. UNC student Alex Jones. He is honored to give back to the nation.
Wow.
It has given him and his family countless opportunities. Anyway, so I'm trying to find the spot right here. Since the photo of the students holding up the flag garnered tens of thousands of likes this week, because that's what it's all about, popularity, remember? And positive responses from the politicians and celebrities alike, a GoFundMe created by a third party for that Chapel Hill chapter has raised more than $400,000 to throw the frat party they deserve. Yeah. Anyway, so there's that story, you know, anti-Israel protests. We got to stop it. Now here's Trump's story. Trump says violence on college campuses has to stop immediately. And he said that anti-Semitism must be stopped quickly and effectively. Now, I didn't watch this video yet, and we can play it if we want, but I was quickly glancing over it, And you got this guy with his one-eyed symbolism right here, where a sign says "Sheep no more." You know, the experts. It was the things that Trump said in here, but it's just like it's all the same stuff. Here's a protester wearing a mask for what purpose? You know what I mean? I could see like if you wanted to be like, you know, hiding yourself, but if you want to be bad and you want to be going against everything and you want to show what, you know, give your voice and your opinion, why are you going there with a face mask on? I don't know. It don't make no sense. Well, this isn't even there. This is an article of New York. Sorry, that isn't the school.
I was like looking for the one-eyed
Yeah.
symbolism.
Yep. Anyway, right here, anti-Semitism cannot be allowed to fester, Trump said. It must be stopped quickly and effectively. This is something that I've been noticing going on is, well, everybody knows it, you know what I mean? But
Your screen ain't moving.
oh, snap. All right. You know what?
There it is.
I have to go back to the other thing. So that's what happened.
That's
I was
fine.
dumb. And then I went over to the other video and
That's fine.
I have to present
You're
it.
good.
And what we'll do is we'll go back through that and I'll show you from the top. All right. Let's go back up top. So Trump says violence on college campuses has to stop immediately. Anti-Semitism must be stopped quickly and effectively. I didn't watch this video yet, but this is what I was talking about. His one-eyed symbolism right here. Sheep no more. That guy with a big old beard. The experts. Him. Jonathan Gilliam, whoever that is. And it was the things that Trump says I was talking about. Here's the picture I was just talking about with the girl with the mask. This was in New York. I thought for some reason this was protesters down at that college. It is not. But anyway, you know, why is it all these anti-Israel agitators? You know what I mean? That's what it's all called. Trump declares Columbia agitators, you know, peanuts compared to campus anti-Israel unrest. Okay, whatever. So it's just all the same story. It's all the same stuff. Trump says anti-Semitism cannot be allowed to fester. It must be stopped quickly and effectively. And it's just wild how all this stuff ties together like that, you know. You got the shootings down there, and then the protests on the campus, and then Trump saying the protests must stop, you know. And yep, that's how it all is. And then that kid's video that he was so happy to talk in, he was all about Trump, because if you didn't pay attention, he's talking about this administration right now acting like Joe Biden, you know, and it's so weak. And it's so, that's what the article said. If you would read down through it, saying how everybody's so weak and no backbones and this and that. And, you know, that's all we ever hear.
Yeah.
If you want me to, I could play this video.
If you want to.
Say.
Roll it. Roll it.
Oh, we get an ad. Remember.
Be able to count on programs that make us
I'm
successful.
going to push mute on my microphone and see if this still comes through.
These programs help farmers better their production, their practice at a cost that they can afford.
You're squawking over $20 billion.
Is the music still coming through?
It's investment into the future for
The ad is.
Yeah, that's what I
It's
meant to
going back
say.
into the economy.
So I
Yeah.
know that my background isn't in the ad and whatever video does come through.
Yeah, make a large screen.
Special Agent and a Navy SEAL. And Jonathan, we are just getting breaking news into the newsroom. The latest reporting out of Los Angeles. UCLA police are preparing for a multi-agency operation to secure the campus of UCLA during the protest. But there's also another caveat, a statement from what appears to be a University of California PD chief saying the following. So presumably those are the officers that are on campus, security on campus. Quote, we only had about 5 or 6 officers working tonight. In order for additional resources, it requires multiple agencies. They're preparing to go in and render the location safe. From a law enforcement perspective, from a planning and preparation perspective, just how negligent was UCLA, LA Mayor Karen Bass, and Governor Gavin Newsom, for that matter, with regard to what we're seeing, these horrific scenes out of UCLA tonight?
Well, I would say the same thing for all of these different locations where they have to react instead of taking action before these individuals get onto these campuses. In the case of LA, I think that is the greatest example of failure out of all of these. but by no means is it alone in failure. The NYPD, your previous guest, I enjoy everything he has to say about the NYPD, but they're governed by a leftist mayor in New York City and a police commissioner that doesn't apparently know what they're doing. So they don't stop these things from occurring. Even in Texas, where everybody says they handle things differently in Texas. Well, they handle them pretty much the same in the fact that they allowed these leftists and Islamic fundamentalists, which is called the Red Green Alliance, and people need to start looking at this. They've allowed these individuals to play their games on college campuses and about something that they've convinced everybody is about the Palestinian people and their freedom. But in reality, this is Hamas. Hamas is Iran, and Iran wants the elimination of all the Jews in Israel and Israel as a state. And ultimately, that's what these people are supporting, whether they realize it or not. And that's what law enforcement and these city officials are allowing to occur on these college campuses.
Yeah, and this was by design by Hamas dating back some 30 years ago, where they asked themselves in a meeting that took place, and the FBI actually, Jonathan, has tape of it. They wiretapped the meeting, and they have tape of Hamas leaders saying, how are we going to speak to the young American minds? Well, let's infiltrate the college campuses, starting with the professors. And you see that very scene unfolding on your screen right now, a seed that was planted 30 years has now sprouted into this. So also on Columbia, Jonathan, one of our reporters asked one of the pro-Palestinian protesters, if police come here and end up handcuffing people and you guys get arrested, what's going to happen? Listen to what the protester responded. She said, we'll do what we've always done. We'll get arrested just like the criminals in the subways. They're always right back out in 24 hours. I mean, they're thinking, well, we get arrested, but there aren't really going to be any consequences.
Exactly.
I'm so glad you brought that up, because I was on Jesse Waters' show earlier in the evening when that was when that individual was interviewed. And the first thing that popped into my head was the fact that this guy has done this before. Well, these protests haven't been around that long. So this individual was talking about people who protest professionally because of altruism and their belief that they're going to go in and destroy whatever system is that they don't like. So that individual, along with many of the other people at Columbia University and all these universities, are not only trained in what to say and what to do, but they've done it before. And they have no worries because of the way law enforcement and the way that these cities consistently and continuously confuse freedom of speech with intimidation, with force and violence, which is almost exactly what the definition of terrorism is. They confuse that with freedom of speech. And nowhere in the First Amendment is violence, are threats and intimidation protected. Those are not protected pieces of speech in the First Amendment. And law enforcement needs to realize this.
Jonathan T. Gilliam, we appreciate your time and your insight this morning. Thank you very much. And
So, Brian, let me tell you, I'm thankful you did this, because I was looking at the protesting earlier this week, and they're so controlled, and just everything. If you just watching that video and everything they're showing, the guy had a stick and he hit someone and the stick broke. You can tell that they're just so controlled. It's all a show. 100%.
Yeah, anti-Israel agitators is what they're calling them. You know.
Yes.
So,
yeah.
Yes.
But anyway.
Yeah. No. That's really great that you brought this up. Go ahead.
Yeah, Mr. Trump is all for America. He loves America and all that, but he's pro-Israel.
Well, he loves Israel more.
Yeah, it kind of appears that way. Where's Mr. Trump's nationalism? Since he loves America so much.
he hugs the flag, and he takes photo ops of him hugging the flag.
That's right.
He does love. He does love America, Dub.
That proves he loves
Come on,
America.
Dub. Okay. Get on board.
Okay.
He's not an actor. Oh yeah, he was an actor, wasn't he? He was.
Yes, he was.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, he
Look
did.
up
Yeah.
Trump in www.
Or no, look up Trump and what was it? You're fired. What was that?
That guy was talking about professional protesters too. I don't know if y'all caught that. I was like, what the hell does he even mean, professional protesters? Anyway.
They said a lot of different things that it's crazy because I watched a whole bunch from different campuses from New York to UCLA to Texas. I mean, they are all so, I mean, it's just so obvious. They're all carrying the same signs. They're all, it's just so dumb. And then the cops come in. I even saw where they had motorcycle cops there with their helmets and their little microphone off their helmet, trying to. I'm just like, come on! They had 50,000 cops at the campus, and I'm like, that's just unrealistic. It's just so unrealistic, and they're all walking in and they're trying to control everything, and nobody's doing anything.
And
it's so funny.
All the colleges here in Texas are having their protest as well. And they use the West Coast protests so they could condemn all the Democrats that are in charge in there. But the same protests are taking place all over Texas, and no Democrat leadership anywhere around here. But they won't emphasize that. Let's go for the mean old lefties.
If there is an election, we all know. I mean, I called it years ago. I'm telling you, they're souping up Trump. They've got to get everybody on board to follow their leader when he's elected. That's why he only served 4 years previous.
Hey, one other thing I want to say real quick. I just want to share, I think, this thing again, just to, I don't know, say something about it. But yeah, so this guy, don't forget about Alex Jones, the guy who's proud to, what was it? Honored to give back to the nation that has given me and my family countless opportunities. Alex Jones. Anyway, so I thought about it in this way, that he's honored to give back to the nation. He will give his life and die for this flag right here. But in order to do that, you can't be anti-Israel. You understand what I'm saying?
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah.
Or if you do that, or whatever, you see what I'm saying there, right? That's what they're trying to paint in my version of looking at it, and with my weird brain. But anyway, it's got deeper meaning than just him. That it's saying something like, "Hey, stand up for this flag and die for it, and fight for Israel. Don't be anti-Israel." That's what I see.
Exactly. That's
right.
That's our
Now
main.
all the young kids are going to be like, "Oh man, I want to be a badass and stand up for the flag and die for it." And maybe there's a war coming. Who knows? I don't know.
Yeah,
Stuff
they're
like
souping. Yeah, they're souping it up, man. I see it everywhere.
Everywhere, yes.
This is what I wanted to talk about. I meant to say. He says, for me, protecting the flag was not about taking a stance within the ongoing Israel-Palestine discourse, Jones explained. I recognize the pain and suffering experienced by both sides of that conflict, but my decision yesterday to protect the flag of the United States was not about any other nation. It was simply about the importance of our country and the values we believe in. And there is parts in here he goes on to talk about the present, leadership and how it's not doing its job and stuff like that and whatnot, whatever. But yeah, $400,000 for those frat boys. They're going to go find out what big of a party they can have.
Yeah, that's to me that's extortion. When they have all these GoFundMe's for false pretense, it's extortion. Period.
I wanted to find a spot where it said hundreds, because remember, it was just him, his frat brother, and some others.
Yeah.
But somewhere in here it said hundreds of anti-Israel agitators. There it is. Brave students reacts to standing against hundreds of anti-Israel agitators. Yep. And there they were. A little mound of them protecting it in a circle.
Yeah.
Like King Arthur in the Knight's Table.
Yeah. Why was the flag down?
It was half-mast for the shooting.
So they jumped up there and grabbed it down, or?
Yeah, something like that. During half mast for the shooting, that because of those officers, then someone came in and put a Palestine flag on. That's the story. And then
Ah,
the the chancellor or whatever he is of the school had to have the cops come in to put a flag back up. And then these guys all stood here to reinforce this is our flag. We will die for it. Don't be anti-Israel.
Yeah.
That's what they're saying. Because
Issue that
I've seen this over the last year. I can't tell you how many guys like, screw your freedoms. You know what I mean? Arnold Schwarzenegger coming out and saying, oh, I just want to give thanks to America that has given me and my family countless This is the same speech that I've heard from the stars, you know what I mean, throughout the last year, coming back after they've told you, you know, screw your freedoms and things like that. And not just Arnold, because I've shared these pictures with Chuck. Every time I see that crap from Fox News pop up, I'll be like, look, another guy telling you he loves America after he told you, F you, put your mask on, basically, you know.
Right.
Or get your vax, whatever. Sorry. I didn't mean to say all those things.
I wanted to show you a video. Let's see. I don't want to interrupt you. Are you?
No, I'm done. Go ahead.
Okay, cool. Can you see my screen?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So, Ange put this out, and I thought it was very important for us to show.
Real quick, yes, it did look like the Iwo Jima thing, Mike Smith.
Okay. Too bad she's not here. This is the first time I've seen her not here, but anyway, I wanted to show this video because I thought it was very important to show. There was a couple other. She's been putting out some good videos that I thought were very important to show. But anyway, this was one of them, and I thought I would show it to you guys. So here we go.
The Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives that would criminalize private firearm sales. Biden's latest effort to unilaterally curtail our constitutional rights is completely illegal. It is a dramatic escalation of his tyrannical abuse of authority. Throughout the years, Congress deliberately recognized the legality of private firearm sales by non-dealers. Congress even went so far as to narrow the statutory definition of dealer to prevent the ATF from unlawfully suppressing the private transfer of firearms. Joe Biden is trying to change that through regulatory redefinition, executive edict, and workarounds designed to evade our Constitution.
Now, let me say that it doesn't matter if it's Joe Biden or Trump or Obama. You know, they're going to do what they have to do, and they continually take our rights away through executive orders and blah blah blah. But this is something that's current right now.
He has completely disrespected and disregarded the democratic process. He has violated the separation of powers intended by our founding fathers to preserve the consent of the people in matters of government. On April 19th, the ATF published its new rules subjecting hundreds of thousands of law-abiding gun owners to presumption of criminal guilt for engaging in the constitutionally protected private sale of firearms. We will not let Biden continue his tyrannical abuse of power. His war on our Second Amendment rights must be stopped. Throughout our country's history, private citizens have bought and sold firearms, and their freedom to do so is guaranteed by the U.S. Constitution. With today's lawsuit, it is my great honor to stand up to protect our constitutional rights from the out-of-control federal government. My message to Joe Biden yesterday, today, and forever is this: come and take it. And as some of you might know, that's from ancient Greek, but it's also from 1835, the Battle of Goliad, for the Texas independence. Thank you to our colleagues from Louisiana, Mississippi, and Utah. And thank you to Kansas and their coalition, and to our co-plaintiffs, West Verdell, Gunners of America, the Tennessee Firearms Association, and the Virginia Citizens Defense League. And now I want to welcome my really good friend who's done an amazing job as the Attorney General of Kansas. I'm so pleased to have him in Texas, and really pleased to have him in a coalition to stop an overreaching Joe Biden who's trying to take away our Second Amendment rights. Thank you, Chris.
Thank you, Ken.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, thank you. It's good to be here. And I think it's kind of fitting that Kansas and Texas are leading these two coalitions of states. Our states have a long and storied history together. Indeed, the cowboy era of the 1870s and 80s was the driving of cattle from Texas to the railheads in Kansas at Dodge and Abilene and Kansas City. And that era of American history would not have been possible without the private ownership of firearms, which the cowboys carried, and the private trading of firearms, which the cowboys did among one another. So it's fitting that in defending these Second Amendment rights, Kansas and Texas stand shoulder to shoulder today. And as Attorney General Paxton mentioned, Texas is filing one lawsuit in the Northern District of Texas. Kansas is leading the other lawsuit, which we are filing this morning in the Eastern District of Arkansas. And this is so important that attorneys general stand for our Second Amendment rights. Biden's ATF has become infamous in its overreach. And what President Biden has done repeatedly is when he cannot get a bill through Congress, he does it through regulations. And so the Biden administration, as everyone in here should know, has attempted to close the so-called gun show loophole with statute, and Congress has rejected the Biden administration's statutory efforts every time. Now, President Biden is having the ATF do it through an administrative rule. And what they're doing is they're trying to redefine engaged in the business of dealing firearms. And the definition is so broad that, as Attorney General Paxton said, hundreds of thousands, perhaps millions of Americans will be engaged in the business of selling firearms without even knowing it. Let me give you a couple of examples. We were just on the gun range, and let's suppose that Attorney General Paxton and I are firing our favorite handguns, and then we trade, and we fire each other's gun, and I like his gun, and he likes mine. I say, hey, you want to just trade? And we trade guns. If my gun was worth $50 at the retail price more than his gun, Attorney General Paxton is guilty of a felony for making a profit in the trade of a firearm, a one-time trade where there wasn't even an exchange of cash, because he gained a quote-unquote profit from that one transaction. I can think of countless other examples. My wife thinks I have too many guns, and we have a rule. And the rule is that if I get a new gun, I have to sell one of my older guns. And I've done this at least 3 times. And according to the ATF's rule, and I have read this rule very carefully, I am engaged in restocking my collection of guns every time I sell one and purchase another, sell one and purchase another. I'm not a gun dealer. I'm just a guy who likes to hunt and likes to shoot for sport. But under this new rule, I would be a felon if this continued. So we are bringing this lawsuit for a couple of reasons. One is it's illegal. The Congress already defined what it means to be engaged in the business of dealing firearms, and occasional sales like these are not covered in the definition. So ATF is changing the statutory definition. That is illegal. They don't have that authority. Secondly, it's unconstitutional. Second Amendment protects our right to keep and bear arms, and the courts have said that you can't keep and bear arms unless you can obtain them and buy and sell them. And that is a Second Amendment claim that we will be bringing. We're also bringing a due process claim. Private litigants like this, or us individually, not as attorneys general, it's a fundamental principle of due process that you cannot have a crime that is so vague you don't know whether you're violating it or not. This definition is so vague, Americans won't know that they're violating it. So those are the 3 central claims. And lest anyone think that, well, the ATF's not going to do that. The ATF is going to be very careful about enforcing this. Well, then, if you think that, you haven't been watching the ATF over the last 3 years. Just in 2022, President Biden's ATF under Dettelbach, the director of the ATF, they announced that they were having a zero tolerance policy. They are closing down gun shops all across America at a higher rate than at any time in the last prior 15 years. Texas has had the most gun shops closed by this aggressive ATF. 11 were closed in 2022. Kansas is in second place with 8 gun shops closed, and we don't want to be in first or second place in this competition. But the bottom line is the ATF is going aggressively against gun shops for what would routinely be considered paperwork errors prior to President Biden. It would have resulted in prior to Biden, it would have been a friendly phone call from the ATF agent for the region to the gun store owner saying, hey, your paperwork's not right. Could you please refile it? They would do it, issue resolved. Now with this zero tolerance policy, they're coming in shutting down perfectly law-abiding gun stores, and they're going to take the same attitude with this new regulation, which is why we are suing to stop it. And we intend to obtain a preliminary injunction if the judges agree and stop this from going into effect.
It's really a shame that General Kobach has no passion for this issue.
Yeah.
So Wes, I didn't tell you about this, but if you want to say a few words, we'd love for you to address the.
So I'm Wes Verdell with Gun Owners of America. I am the Texas State Director for GOA. We are extremely grateful to be standing here right now with the General. General has, over the years, has done some amazing work in the Second Amendment sector for us. We really appreciate what you've done. We actually have a hearing today in the Fifth Circuit that you filed, Paxton versus Dettelbach, and we're looking really forward to see the result of that. We are facing an ATF that is targeting FFL holders and gun owners. I go around the state. This is my job. I travel around the state talking to FFL dealers. Many of them are aggravated at what has happened to them. They've had the ATF weaponized against them in many ways. Normally, ATF would come in and do a real simple search, look through their paperwork, make sure that everything's good. If there was something that they had mistakenly done, they would correct it and move on. Now the ATF is going in looking for any mistake they have as an excuse to take off. FFLs, gunsmiths that we've talked to are extremely frustrated, and the ATF continues to put pressure onto law-abiding citizens. We have a Second Amendment. It's guaranteed to us in the Constitution. That Second Amendment is a restriction on the government. It's not a restriction on the people, and it's not a right for the ATF to come after citizens, what they're doing. Me and my friends, we shoot all the time. We trade guns, just like was talked about. Anyways, it's a thing where it's normal for us to maybe sell a gun, and often I'm kind of limited to how many guns I'm allowed to possess currently in my household. And so a lot of times I will sell a firearm so I can go buy another one. I shouldn't have to become an FFL to do that, or I also shouldn't have to become a felon or somebody who's doing something illegal for doing a right that was already guaranteed to me and a law that was already guaranteed to allow me to do that. So we're extremely grateful at Gun Owners of America to be standing up here with both of y'all. I really appreciate it. Appreciate the fight that y'all have done.
And that's just to me, that's you know, they're chopping little by little by little by little. I doubt these guys can do much. You know, it could be a show. I don't know. But I'm just saying that you know, they keep
they got to get rid of the gun show loophole and all that stuff is what they call that type of thing, you know.
Right. Right. So sorry, I have a cat that's come on. Ooh, ooh.
Runs around on the keyboard.
Whoopsie. All right. That kind of messed up my screen. Let's see here. I can get it back.
Alcohol, tobacco, firearms, ATF.
Yes, they've been doing some raids where they've been killing people when they do the raids for pretty much petty stuff. And there's been some conflict over that where they're just going way out of their bounds to enforce what's not really laws. And that's what they're trying to do in that video is it's an ATF regulation and not a law that's been passed by Congress, but just a want of ATF, and it's being enforced as a law, and it's crazy.
Well, then that means they do it selectively. So those guys that were on the screen won't be selected to be harassed. It would be other people that would be, you know,
absolutely
selected to be harassed.
Yeah. You know, we live in an upside down world. There's so many things that are going on that I never thought I would live to see. Crazy times.
Yeah.
What is upside down? What's inside out? What is black and white? It's just totally crazy. that we would be living in these times. And I just don't understand why people are not waking the heck up. I don't understand.
Not paying attention.
I mean, I've got neighbors. I mean, Dub and I are the Lone Rangers where we live. The Lone Rangers. I'm telling you, these people are, oh, let's go watch our games and this and that. And they're just so, and everybody, I know everybody here is living the same thing. I totally get it. But it's, I don't I don't know what to say about it. The protesting, the Israel, everything's got its own agenda, everything. But they do coincide. They really do.
Yeah.
100% totally. They're going to have to come up with something big. We have supposedly, I guess we're past that stage. We had a asteroid that was supposed to destroy Earth recently. Not Earth, but it was as big as a football field and was going to come crashing down, pretty soon. So get ready, guys. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Since I do have more people here earlier, I mentioned early on that Chuck's not here. He does have his mother in the hospital, and he asked me to mention it so that we could pass on prayers for her. And yeah, she's doing okay, but she does have to have a couple surgeries. And so if you guys could just pray for her, that would be totally 100% awesome. I did mention it earlier in the show, but I want to do it that we have more people here now. So just keep her in our prayers, and I just had to, and him also. But yeah, he's doing the family thing. His daughter graduated from college this week, and so he's doing the family thing this week. So that's why he's not here. But I just wanted to mention that because we all have to stick together. We all have to be together. We all want to. We have to be. We have to do this together because if we don't, we will fall. And so, I just wanted to say that again. So, God bless you, Chuck, and your mother and your family. And we will be praying for you, just to get that out there. Okay. But yeah, man, my screen changed. Let me see if I can do this. Yeah, there. I got it back. Since my my new cat got on the keyboard. But yeah. Do we have anything else that we wanted to talk about? Just so you guys know, if you guys want to promote your channel here, if you guys have content and you guys want to promote your channel on my platform, I don't have any issues to do that. Please do. The more truth we get out, the better. Come on, boy. Oh, go on. Sorry. But yeah. The more truth we get out, the better. So everybody's equal here, and yeah. So if you want to promote your channel, please do. But yeah, we're living in crazy times. I'm just saying. Crazy times. Yeah. I guess I would rather know than not know what's going on.
Absolutely.
Sometimes it's a lot of weight, but
Yes.
I know who I have on my side, and I have Jesus, so I'm good with that. And he makes me feel 100% better. But yeah, Danny says we're watching America be destroyed from within. Yeah, it's really sad. It's really sad to see this happening. Yeah. So we've been on for 2 hours. I guess we can go ahead and call it a night. I just kind of wanted to show you that psyop from earlier, just to kind of show you my thought process. Thank you, Brian, for showing
Yep.
showing the what do you call them?
The anti-Israel agitators.
Yes,
Protest,
thank
yeah.
you.
Protest.
I was like, I
Yeah,
drew a blank.
that was good and a good lead-in.
Well,
well,
I'm telling you,
Yeah.
just so many things are going on right now, so much more than most people can see. And thank you everybody for being here. We will see you next week for sure. Pray for Chuck, and thank you, Doug Wilkinson. Thank you, Brian, for being here. I really appreciate you guys so very much. Thank you, Kip, for everything you do. I appreciate you, brother. I love you guys. God bless you guys. Yeah. And don't keep watching Alex Jones. I'm just kidding. Whichever one you watch.
Crazy, yeah.
If you watch Alex Jones with either or, don't do it. I'm just kidding. Do what you got to do, but I'm just giving you some advice. But thank you guys. Love you guys. See you next week. Have a blessed week. Hang in there. And we'll see you next week. Just come hang out with us next week. That would be awesome.
Yes,
have
it
any-
would.
All right.
Always happy to see people come spend some time with us.
Yeah.
And I always thank Michelle very much for providing your platform.
Well,
Yep.
it takes all of us.
Yeah.
It takes all of us to be there. And without everybody being here, it wouldn't be a it wouldn't be a platform. So,
Right.
Thank you guys. Have a good night. Love you guys. God bless. And take care. And we will see you next week. Love you.
Bye.
Bye.